Hello. Hi. Greetings. My name is Frank Stringini, and I am the lead artist, director, creator of Spongebob Cave Eaten Alive. I'm doing this video because I wish to end some of the mystery and rumors and even conspiracies that are floating around out there about Spongebob Cave Eaten Alive. All right. Someone wrote me, a lot of people have written me about Spongebob Cave Eaten Alive, but one particular person wanted to know, did Spongebob Cave Eaten Alive get created in 2007? No. The answer is no. Spongebob Cave Eaten Alive was created and published on 6/4/2016. Okay? And that'd be June 4th, 2016. So the same year that Donald Trump first got into office, we had Spongebob Cave Eaten Alive. I, myself, created this scene where SpongeBob first walks up to the cave. This is all the stuff that goes into that. Here, I'll turn off the hyper NURBS. You can see the glorious, low poly, beautiful thing that it is. So this was my scene. I instructed my nephews, who spent the night, to do exactly what I did, and they followed along. Caleb Stringini, Jared Stringini, and Derek Stringini. Here's Derek Stringini's SpongeBob. I made the cave, and I gave it to all of them, in case you're wondering. So the only thing they had to worry about was animating SpongeBob and trying to not get terrified as they were creating this. Here's what the render looks like. Look at this. The holes on SpongeBob for this, the texture, are all procedural. Isn't that cool? And they're also copied over to the bump texture. See, we can make them even deeper, even more beautiful. Oh yeah, now that's a SpongeBob Cave Eaten Alive. I could make them even grodier. The point of this project was to see how quickly we could make a viral video. Literally. I was working with a team on some other project that was unrelated to this particular one, and they all had a SpongeBob cartoon that was like an initiation to be part of their club of animators. Oh, and I made the eel. The eel was a little too advanced for the guys. You know, they were teenagers at the time when they made this with me, but we all adhered to the same rules. We just made a SpongeBob, and I ignored certain protocols of quality. And yeah, see, I ignored certain. See, see, I like to use splines. I like to use little tracks and things for controlling. Boy, this thing is really wild, isn't it? What are you looking at, SpongeBob? This is this particular SpongeBob was made by Jared Stringini, also known as Psycho Squidman. You can find him on YouTube, Psycho Squidman. So if anybody's wondering who made the most beloved, I think most people like this SpongeBob a lot, probably because of the gyrating cheeks. Just really bizarre looking. Yeah, Jared's got a lot of imagination. So does Derek and Caleb. They got great YouTube channels. Look them up. Hugs are optional. And what's the other one?
Pale Face Offensive.
Pale Face Offensive is Caleb's. Pale Face Offensive. Hugs are optional. And wasn't there a third one? I thought there was a third one. And Derek Stringini, he just goes by Derek Stringini, so you can find him pretty easily. All right, and here's the fourth scene right here. And you can see all their dates are 6/4. That's when these 3D files were made, and the very next day. So I guess it was uploaded the next day. Yeah. Here you can see some of the log is 6/5. So like it was basically within 24 hours. I wanted to make a viral video because these guys that I was working with on this other project, they said, "Oh yeah, don't do such a good job, Frank. Your stuff's always so polished and everything. Just just kind of make it crappy." That's what they said. And I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to make it crappy. I'm going to make it crappy good, like the way I like crappy things, because I think I'm a pretty good judge of crappy art. I make it all the time. So if I'm gonna do something kind of crappy, then I want to be sure that I'm doing it with quality crappy. So it takes a bit of understanding, I think. But if you get the drift of what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. There's something entertaining when you put your best foot forward and it really looks like you tried. And all you got to do is maybe pull out a little thing here. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't polish that, don't refine that. But take your characters on a little adventure. Give it the little spit shine. So it's not just 100% a little turd. It's a shined up turd. So we got the we threw on the smoothening. We threw on all the stuff that people know to throw on there when you're trying to shine up a turd. When you work in Hollywood, as long as I have, you learn all about shining up turds. I'm not saying that everything that Hollywood produces is a turd. I'm just saying if you work there, you're good at doing that. All right. Anyway, yeah, here's Caleb's Spongebob. See, that's what he looks like when he's not smoothed out. When you apply the hyper NURBS, you get this sort of, saran wrap, Ziploc sealed, kind of, what do you call that? Vacuum sealed. Kind of looks vacuum sealed. But yeah, the rigs are pretty simple. They're just a bunch of bones. It's all just keyframe animation. Let's take this and we'll just turn off the, still in animate mode. Turn that off and now you can see, this is all he does. It's just that. That's it. And the rig, I believe we have the eye focus. We got the eye focus and we've got is that the only one I have to, no. Is that what we did? We did that. No, eye focus doesn't seem to do anything. I haven't touched these things in a long time, but I don't know. It's kind of making me wanna make another one. Like, I never did do a Squidward. I've always wanted to. I don't know. That's one thing people don't know about the creator of this is that I actually I've got all these other projects ahead, but I would like to do a complete episode with all the characters. So you'd have Mr. Krabs. Hey, hello there. It's me, Mr. Krabs. How you doing? Make me some money. Do the voices and even SpongeBob.
Hello, Mr. Krabs. I'm reporting to duty.
Give it a. I'm pretty decent at those. SpongeBob, please get back into the kitchen. I don't want to see your deformed face. I can do a bunch of them. Hey, Krabs, I'm here to steal the formula. Get all the guys together. My wife, Rat McLovin. You should check out her YouTube channel as well. Rat McLovin. She can do a pretty good Sandy Cheeks. So we'd even have Sandy. We'd have SpongeBob. We have Sandy. We have, we can't forget everybody's favorite. Don't forget me. I've got to get in shape. Everybody thinks I'm fat. Well, no more. So, that probably came off as quite schizophrenic, huh? Either that or incredibly talented. Nah, probably schizophrenic. All right, so hopefully this clears up some mysteries about this. Oh, and if anybody's wondering, what is beyond? What is beyond? I have a fog enabled in this world, so that's going to disrupt a few things. Where did I put my fog? We got the bubbles. We got this. Where's the... I guess, oh, world, of course. World, environment. Let's disable that. There you go. See, that's it. It's just that. Uh-oh, mystery solved. You know, nothing really mysterious there. One thing that might be a little mysterious, how did I even make the cave? Well, splines, of course, my friend. Splines. You definitely got to get on splines. If you're into creating some freaky, weird animation stuff, you have got to get into splines. Only with splines are you going to be able to define a cave like this. Look at this. See, the whole cave is just a bunch of splines that I copied and then kind of deformed it or whatever, you know, did a little thing like this, you know, whatever, and then you put a loft NURBS. It's a loft. Loft NURBS. Yeah, splines is the key. Don't just get stuck with poly modeling. Do yourself a favor. Do not get stuck with only poly modeling. As a matter of fact, the eel is a spline model. Yeah, this is true. He is not a poly model. His animations would not be quite the same if I hadn't done him with splines. That's why he can open up his mouth and be all kind of freaky looking the way he does, because he has the spline model. Let's see, mouth open shut. Oh, looks like, okay, eel. Oh, looks like I dumbed it down. Oh, wait. This is the original. Ooh, see, that's before I dumbed it down to a poly model. So here's the original. See, there's the original, and the eyeballs are a separate thing. They're just spheres. So we'll just bring this guy out a little bit. See, there you go. There you go. And there's the morph that controls the various, where is it? They're gonna, let's see, so you have that, and yeah, and then you have this, this is the closed mouth right there. See, that's the closed mouth. And what you do is you can create a poly model, and then you can have it morph using this spline as a guide for the mouth, so it can open and shut. So you create two models, and then you know, when you call it up, when you call up the reference of the points after you collapse it, you do have to collapse it into a poly model eventually, but you can have two different versions, a closed mouth and an open mouth, so that you can retain that nice elliptic shape. See, it's actually just two versions of the eel. If I could have kept it as splines, I would have. But honestly, I could do that. I just don't feel like rigging up a thing where the splines follow the bones, and then you know, because you would basically do that. You would have each ring of the spline model follow each one of these bones, and then you would just animate the bones. And instead of using a skin with a weighting situation, you would just have a real-time a loft NURBS object that is following these bones. It's a little bit unorthodox. That's not how usually people do things. Usually they take a poly model and then they bind those to the bones, which is the way I did, because I didn't feel like doing anything exceptionally weird with that. I just wanted the eel to get made, because he was something that I knew I was going to have to throw together rather quickly. So we were able to rig up an eel, 4 Spongebobs, and animate them, and get the soundtrack from Paul Stringini, my brother. He did his worst of singing the SpongeBob theme song. So that's actually Paul, the singer, in the SpongeBob song that we have for SpongeBob Caving Alive. We have Paul from Dora No More, right, from the Stringini Bros. Paul Stringini, the singer of Dora No More, is the singer of SpongeBob Cave Eaten Alive. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah, all off key and everything, and it was a successful experiment, wasn't it? I mean, this thing's kind of gained a bit of fame and everything. I'm not rich from it or anything like that. I mean, but it is my #1 video. I mean, that says something. And you know, in the future, not tonight, but in the future, I will announce possibly, because I've been warming it. It's been on my mind a long time. I wanted to make a video where I have a little fireside chat with everybody and see what you guys think. What's a good idea? You know, not that I want to steal any ideas from anybody. I know what I want to do. I want to have a Squidward, SpongeBob, and you know, Mr. Krabs, you know, maybe Sandy Cheeks in there, you know, Plankton's in there, maybe even Mrs. Puff. SpongeBob, why? You know, I can only do her when she blows up. Maybe she won't be in there. Maybe she will. She'll just like roll in like a giant ball permanently, and then when she deflates, she'll be like really shriveled up like a square, like the way pufferfish do. I don't know. But I have something rolling around in my head I want to do. But I just wanted to get, you know, some verification from people that they even want it. You know, it's been several years. Some people thought that this thing was made in the 90s or 2000s. I never spread any of those rumors. As a matter of fact, as soon as I saw that people were spreading rumors, originally, you know, people saying it was on a VHS tape, people slapped somebody else's logo on there. They didn't even credit me as the creator. That's fine, I guess. No, really, it's fine. It's fine. I don't need the fame, because the fame might lead to me making more cartoons like that. And we don't want that, do we? Yeah, so maybe we'll do a fireside chat, and I'll maybe make it a project where I just kind of work on something, and you guys can hang out before the internet gets their hands on it, you know. And it'll be the first time I ever document the creation of one of my cartoons in full. Each time I work on it, maybe I'll do a stream like this where I discuss what I'm doing today, and then I'll do the task of the day and get that part done. And make it all crazy and janky, like people seem to like so much. But yeah, crazy, janky, SpongeBob, Patrick, crazy, janky, you know, Plankton, crazy, janky, Mr. Krabs, which I have not made yet, and Squidward, which I have not made yet. So I got some time coming up in a few months where that may be a reality, where I'll actually add to the lore of SpongeBob Cave Eaten Alive, which was the first one. And I did it, and helped my nephews. So they helped me, really. I mean, you know, it's my project. But yeah, you guys should check out all their stuff, and check out the Stringini Bros. But yeah, let's put it to rest, guys. This thing was created in 2016. You know, in June, 2016, June, on the 4th. And then it was published the next day after I got my hands on the audio. There's some wacky dates here because I did copy these, and I had to back. This is like not the original location. This is my new computer we're looking at here. So, you know, that's what it's about. The only texture in SpongeBob Cave Eaten Alive is our logo. This is the only texture. I don't even think I even used it. It's just in there. So, but yeah, this is among a bunch of other projects I've worked on. Here's the Plankton nose. You know, there's that one. Some people like this one. You know, it's like kind of crazy. And again, this one was done just in an afternoon on my own. Paul was not involved with this one, really. This was actually a texture that was a lift from a friend, believe it or not. This texture right here, this was from a friend that I was working closely with, and an associate of ours said that this picture sucked, and it was no good, and he should just quit. And I said, what's wrong with the picture? It's a nice picture. I like this picture. It's funny. It's got that face that Plankton made where he's just like, ugh! Ugh! And I thought it was funny. And I argued, I said, you know, all you got to do is take this into 3D and then just use it as a texture. And then you could rig it up with, I came up with this a long time ago. I came up with a style of 3D animation I call true 0.5D. Now, don't everybody just get mad at me all at once. True 0.5D is not 2.5D or any of that nonsense, okay? That's not what I'm claiming. I said true, True dot 5. True 0.5D. I'm sorry, 0.5D, yeah. And what does that exactly mean? Well, I guess you could dumb it down and simply say it's a beveled two-dimensional, bevel 3D edge that can only be viewed from one particular angle. Without getting too deep into the nuts and bolts of all the things you can do with this, it is weakest because it's only viewable from one side. But the important thing to note is that this isn't just simply a flat polygon. Because if it was a flat polygon in 3D space, truly it's more 3D than this. Because the flat polygon would be the embracing of how flat something is. If anybody's ever seen the video game Parappa the Rapper, I would say that constitutes 3D as opposed to 2D. And why is that? And the reason is because, well, it embraces its flatness. It doesn't try to disguise its flatness. It isn't so delicate because, like something like Paper Mario, it embraces that it's just a flat card, right? And if this was nothing special, well then why didn't Wolfenstein do it? Why didn't Doom do it? Why didn't anybody do it? And the reason is because, well, it's really hard to work with. I'm going to leave on this point because I brought this up. Let me share with you something I've been working on lately. Oh dear, it's not readily available right there. Okay, I'm in some collabs. One of them is the Amazing Gumball, the video game, or the game. It's Amazing Gumball, the game, and a scene that I'm working on. I'll be implementing the true 0.5D. Now, in true 0.5D, if you were to look at it straight on, you would say, oh, that's just a 2D thing, right? It's just a 2D thing. However, if you were to look at the polygons, you can see that this thing no longer looks anything like what it was supposed to be. This could be literally any character. It's not a sculpture like a normal 3D character, and it's not just simply a flat. It's like potato. I used to call it the clamshell. The clamshell and potato chip, whatever you prefer. Clamshell, potato chip. It's an invention. I was not taught this in any school. Nobody taught me how to do this or anything. But without getting into the secrets of what makes it work exactly, and why do you have all those arms and stuff, I'll just say this. Basically, you have a 90%, you have a 45 this direction, and you have a 45 this direction, and this direction 45, and this direction 45. You have 45, 45, that's 90, and this is 45, 45, that's 90. So you have this diagonal range for parallax that is unparalleled to really any. It doesn't. It's not the same as like layers. If it was like layers, well then it would look more like this. There you go. Now it's more like Parappa the Rapper or Paper Mario because it is embracing its 2D. It's not a 2D. It's not a 3D thing. That it's just flat, and So this is going to have all sorts of rigging and stuff like that that's going to make this work. I'll be able to control the frames of animation for his mouth, and also another thing to point out, a big difference, the textures. Look how many textures. Every single frame of animation that is required in every pose has to have its own texture. That's not normal. That is not normal. This is frame 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20, 23. So there's 24 frames right here for a variety of animations. And this is one of the few secrets I will give out. This is what the texture looks like for one of the frames. And this is applied to a series of potato chips and, if I may be so humble, skillfully, carefully manipulated with rigging. And not just ordinary rigging. I mean, we're talking like stuff that's going to make your skin crawl type of rigging that ordinarily 2D artists would never ever want to get involved with. And 3D artists would say, screw it, I'm just going to make this in 3D. That's what true 0.5D is. It's not 3D entirely. Because if it was 3D entirely, well, this would still look like Darwin, that guy. You know, it would look like Darwin. And the way you animate the characters, very different. It's different from 3D, it's different from 2D, but it borrows from 2D. It relies heavily on the 2D. But the 3D is merely used to support the 2D, as opposed to conventional 3D, which relies very little on 2D. Usually only use one frame in 3D. One frame. One texture is what you usually would use, not 23 frames of 2D animation. So the 2D animation is the star in true 0.5D. So that may not make any sense, but perhaps one day, if I, if I'm successful in, really exploding on the internet and bringing my freakishly weird animations to the public, going viral, mega viral, and all that, maybe I'll be able to actually relax and make some videos and showcase the techniques in full from beginning to end of how I do this sort of stuff. That is an appetizer for some other day. But until next time, I guess all of you should have a great night, and I hope this was very informative, especially to the individuals who have been emailing me at my, I have like 5 emails, okay, 5 email addresses, and I'm getting emails left and right from people, and that's fine. Keep them coming. Any questions you got, feel free to message me. I will say this though, the best way to get a hold of me, if you really want to get a hold of me, just hop into the Stringini Bros Discord. I fire it up all the time. I'm there all the time. I mean, not all the time. I mean, right now there's a couple people hanging out in the gamer utterance, but yeah, maybe you wanna. Oh yeah, here's some of my team projects I'm in. I'm in the Super Mario. Probably shouldn't click on them. The Super Mario Bros. Movie collab. I'm in the Gumball, the game reanimated. I'm also in Sponge Out of Water Resurfaced. Look for the scene I'm doing. Actually, I'm doing the pirate scene in the beginning where the skeleton pirate fights the other pirate. I thought that was going to be kind of cool. I was already part of the Spongebob SquarePants movie. I have a scene in there, the anglerfish, and that has true 0.5D in full strength. Felix the Cat also. I'm in the Felix the Cat Maltese Milkshake. And I'm not going to be in the Goofy movie. I got nothing against the project or anything. I'm just hanging out there and playing it cool and just seeing what becomes of it. I'm an old school Goofy fan, not really a new school Goofy fan. I'm not really into the Goof Troop and all that stuff. It's just I was busy working by the time that stuff came out. Oh yeah, and there's my old server that got destroyed. Isn't that lovely? What a wonderful memory. Okay. Let's, by all means, okay, that was a very funny SpongeBob. All right, so we have a lot of fun on the Stringini Bros Discord. The link is in the description of this video, and I want to wish all of you that's my analytics. I didn't mean to look at that. It's a good thing they make these interfaces for dum-dums like me. Well, who accidentally click on their Social Security display it now button on their computer. All right. So, here we go. We're back where we started. And yeah, all of you have a great day. I gotta get back to another project I'm working on. If you want a little peek at what are you working on, Frank? What are you working on? What is it? If you really want to know, I'm working on a animation, and it's about a wizard. And actually file, and we're gonna save incremental. I'm gonna put this away without giving away too much. I will show you this. Okay, I will show you this. I've been working more and more on developing rigs that automatically animate themselves. You know, like something. This is, I know I'm going off on a tangent way past SpongeBob Cave Eaten Alive. But here's a rig that I created where the character actually animates its feet all by itself. Isn't that neat? Do-do-do-do-do. See? And he even puts his feet down. Do-do-boop-boop-boop. Do-boop-boop-boop-boop. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Bop-bop-bop-bop-bop-bop-bop-bop-bop-bop-bop-bop. So I just have to move him around. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. So, you got to do some other things manually, but the legs are always just, like sometimes you just want to rig something to work and work well. This is a character drawn by my wife, Rat McLovin, and it's going to be a really cool little adventure, very atmospheric, very, magical. It's all about a wizard that goes on an adventure to save his brother from something. Don't want to spoil what's going to happen, but it'll be a great piece, and you'll be able to catch it on Rat McLovin's YouTube channel. And boy, I feel like I can't end this without at least showing one of the scenes as far as what the renders look like. This is what the renders look like. And if you guessed that the objects in the scene are true 0.5D, you are correct. They are, in fact, true 0.5D. And if anybody is late for class and is getting angry at me using that word, let me just, explain the difference, okay? You're familiar with good old what people sometimes call 2.5D, which really is just 2D on a polygon, right? It's just 2D on a polygon. Yeah, it's 2D on a polygon, not a big deal. It's flat like a board. But true 0.5D, true 0.5D allows for that nice 45 this way, 45 that way, 45, 45. You get that 0.5, you get that halfway point, So all these items had to be beveled out, it's like sometimes people don't want to do this sort of thing because here's the actual cuts. See, even the bottles, even put a nice little light source. There's a little light behind there to give some little illumination. I even used reflections and shaders and all sorts of cool things. There's actually reflection on this glass and not on the black line. When you know what you're doing with textures, right? You can have reflections in the on the actual glass. And here's the thing: if you do not bevel this out, you can't have this because you'd have a flat mirror. It wouldn't have this nice warping, where it follows the contours of the shape. Same thing goes for this plant, right? See? Just when you thought it was safe to go into 3D and have 2D art without being harassed by Frank Stringini, here comes true 0.5D to change everything up. And now here's the thing. I want to make it clear. This kind of technique has been done for years. I mean, just having 2D with on a poly surface. Well, that's nothing new. The thing is, though, the way that I'm following through with it is a little bit extra. There is a little bit extra going on here, and it would be dishonest to not observe and recognize that there are advantages to doing this technique and exploring certain other steps to follow through to create the look of everything. You know, see, there's a chest, and it's good this way. Oh, but it breaks when you reach here because it's only half. You only get, 45. You don't. See, you even got cuts in there and everything. See, so there's all sorts of cool little things to get our little characters to interact with 3D space. And if anybody wants to know, like, what exactly was the inspiration for this kind of look, look up Paddington Bear, 1981 or 80, I forgot when it came out. But Paddington Bear, the stop motion animation that had 2D human beings with a 3D stop motion bear, that would be the thing to look at as far as what was it that Frank saw that really pressed upon him, do that. That's what you need to do. That is the future of 2D. Is, to get that Toontown 3D, like the characters could just reach out and grab you. Like if you were to go into VR and you had to see Bugs Bunny, you could have a full 3D version of him with cell shading to try to fake 2D. You could have a flat version of him, right, where he's like trapped in a flat polygon, right? Or you could have Bugs Bunny true point 5D and break apart every aspect of his animation, itemized, labeled, painstakingly cut, and horrifyingly detailed, rigged up. You could do that. If you're crazy. And that's what I am. I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy for animation. See, look what it did. Look what it did to this cute little spider. This right here. See, with this kind of technique, what's really cool. Here, I'll brighten things up a little bit. See, look at that. All right, bye-bye. And then off he goes. And where do we go? We go in for a close-up on Mr. Spider. See, he's got bones in there. And as you can see, he's just a 2D character. That's all it is. He's just a 2D spider, just a black, silhouetted, reflecting true 0.5D spider. With his exoskeleton has a nice reflectance on it. I got several versions of the same texture done in a variety of ways, so I could have reflectance and different types of things. Yeah, great stuff. My wife is extremely talented, if I do say so myself. A genius. Look at that. And you get to go right into there, and that's going to be part of the transition to the next scene, which is a cave scene. See? Yeah, this warping just wouldn't happen if he was just flat. But hey, nothing against flat. Nothing against flat at all. Absolutely. Knock your socks off if you want to do flat. But also another thing that you're going to have to study if you want to do this look up projection mapping. That's very important. Very important. It will not work with conventional texture mapping. Not UV mapping. You can't do this with UV mapping. It won't work right. Matter of fact, you'll ruin the effect if you use conventional UV mapping when designing. You have to use projection mapping. And that's the only clue I'm going to give to people that want to figure this stuff out, how I do it. Projection mapping and Paddington Bear. Look those things up. All right, everybody. You have a great night, and I'll talk to everybody real soon. You have a wonderful evening, and God bless. Stay safe.